This is our next homeowner's project we have going on. It's installing this Westinghouse 40-gallon stainless steel water heater. And we've got it jockeyed into position to where it's going to be going in the mud room. I have no water supply or electrical feeds in this particular area, so I'm going to have to bring them over to this area. I'm going to be using PEX connections, PEX hosing, and then I'm going to be running 10 gauge wire, although they say 12 gauge is sufficient. I'm going to go ahead and run with the 10 gauge anyway. But first we have to assemble this tank. Alright, we're at the first stage of dealing with this Westinghouse water heater. There's a couple of things we need to install on this thing prior to getting it into the cubby hole. We're going to need to put the drain valve in. We're going to have to hook up the cold water dip tube input. We're going to have to hook up the T&P relief valve. And we need to hook up the hot water heat trap input. And then once we get all those things installed into the water heater, then we can slip it into position, start marking our holes for the water supply and where the electrical line is going to come in through either the ceiling or the wall. Alright, back with some final thoughts after getting the unit installed. The unit's been up and running for a little bit of time, a few days in fact. I want to test out a few things. First of all, I wanted to see how the heat retention was with this particular model. Ran it for a couple hours, shut it off, see how the water held up overnight, and the temperature held up pretty good. Only issue is on the install is this cold water dip tube was hitting the bottom element, so I had to fuss and fight with it to get that in. Earlier mentioned that I thought these were brass fittings. They are not. They're copper fittings. This is a brass fitting, but these three are copper fittings. Overall performance of the unit's pretty good. It's a little slower heating up than the prior water heater, but that's because these are stainless steel heating elements inside the tank, so they're going to take a little longer to do the same job. But there's trade-offs on everything, and I wanted to get the stainless steel tank so it will not rust inside. I have no anode rods to worry about, so it's a trade-off. But it's got a 9-year warranty on it, but that 9 years is only covering the tank itself, not any of the fittings and not any of the elements. That's only got a 1-year warranty on that. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on the unit. Relatively pleased with it. See how it holds out over the long run. Any issues come up that I'm not happy with, I'll post another video. Till then, see ya.